You ever make a choice that looks smart in the boardroom and suddenly feels like a bad bet on Sunday? That's the Vikings right now. They bet on J.J. McCarthy's upside, a rookie with pedigree, a rookie contract, and the kind of tools that make front offices salivate. The idea was simple: develop him, keep cap flexibility, and let the QB grow into a cheap, controllable asset. Problem is, decisions are judged by results, not intent. And through 11 games, those results have been brutal. McCarthy's tape reads like a laundry list of rookie ailments: holding the ball too long, missed reads, forcing throws into tight windows, turnovers, and questionable footwork under pressure. His passer rating is painfully low. You can paper over the numbers with context about scheme changes, missed practice reps from injuries, and new neurological pathways he says he's trying to rewire. But papering over doesn't win divisions. The Vikings are 4-7 and staring at a season that's quietly slipping away while two other quarterbacks they passed on, Sam Darnold and Daniel Jones, are steering playoff caliber teams. This is where the heartbreak lives. The math looked smart. Rookie contract, draft capital conserved, upside on the cheap. But the NFL doesn't reward clever spreadsheets. It rewards wins. And watching Darnold and Jones thrive elsewhere makes the choice sting in a way a practice report never could. Now the plot thickens. McCarthy's availability is in doubt as he entered concussion protocol recently. If he can't go, the Vikings will turn to Max Brosmer, an undrafted rookie who turned heads in the preseason. That's both the scary part and the sliver of hope. If Brosmer plays poorly, as many undrafted rookies might, the Vikings will limp through the finish, and the what-if narrative on McCarthy will grow louder. If Brosmer plays well, you suddenly have a Brock Purdy-style miracle, an unexpected backup who compels a franchise to rethink its plan. The problem, betting your season on an undrafted rookie's hot streak is not exactly a long-term strategy. There's no magical clean exit hatch here. You don't simply press a button and upgrade from a struggling first-round QB to a proven, affordable veteran. The market for quarterbacks is thin and expensive. You can trade for a stopgap, sign a veteran who wants to start, or pull the plug and take your chances in next year's draft. Every option has downsides. You pay either in cap dollars, draft capital, or development time. That's the brutal arithmetic. The Vikings chose a path that bought future value. Now the question is whether they can stomach a short-term pain to win a longer-term prize, or whether patience becomes a luxury they can't afford. Let's be practical about fixes, because this isn't a moral failing. It's a set of solvable problems if the organization treats them like mechanics instead of narratives. First, simplify the offense. McCarthy has said he's being asked to play differently than he was taught. That's not a new storyline. Rookies get new terminology and new timing. The fix is obvious. Cut concepts, speed reads up, put the ball in his hands quickly. Let the run game carry longer scripts, force easier throws, and give him play-action looks that turn complex reads into simple decisions. Young QBs need repetition on manageable plays. Stop trying to reinvent mental wiring midseason. Second, protect him. If injuries have robbed him of reps, then prioritize keeping him upright. Use Max Pro sets when you can. Add quick route concepts, slide protections, and rollouts that give him an escape valve. The clock that eats rookie confidence is the one where pressure forces mistakes. Reduce it. Third, scheme to his strengths. McCarthy has arm and mobility in different measures. Use screens, RPOs, and high-percentage throws that let your weapons produce yards after contact. Justin Jefferson is a generational asset. The offense should be about creating catch-and-run opportunities for him, not forcing 50-50 shots into coverage. Make opponents defend the field, not just the seams. Fourth, roster and timeline honesty. If the team needs wins now, sign a vet who can stabilize the room while McCarthy develops. If the front office buys long-term upside, set a clearly communicated plan. Fewer explosive plays, more methodical drives, an explicit development timeline. Ambiguity breeds panic. Leadership that says, we see a plan, and actually shows progress week to week, buys you patience. There's a cultural element, too. Coaches must manage expectations in the locker room and with the fan base. Kevin O'Connell is a respected coach, but he needs to show immediate micro-progression on film. The metrics matter. Are his decision times shrinking? Is his sack rate dropping because of better reads, not just better blocking? Are turnovers trending down? Those are the real scoreboard items for progress. What about public perception? Comparing McCarthy to Darnold and Jones makes for great TV, but it also oversimplifies reality. Darnold and Jones had their own arcs. Darnold, in particular, found his footing after years of starts and stops. Development isn't linear, it's also messy and expensive. The Vikings front office bet on a ceiling. Now they have to demonstrate patience while nudging that ceiling into reality. Finally, the awkward truth. If McCarthy fails to stabilize and Brosmer isn't the answer, the Vikings will need to rebuild around a different quarterback. And that's a painful pill when you've already invested a top pick. It's a reality other franchises have faced. The Cardinals, the Raiders, and others have pulled the plug early on picks and reset. Sometimes that gamble pays off. Sometimes it resets the franchise on a longer, more painful timetable. The Vikings are at that crossroads. If you strip away the analysis, what's left is a human story. A young man learning a brutal profession under a microscope, a franchise trying to do the math for competitive success, and a fan base watching the ledger close on what feels like a lost season. There are small, measurable things the team can do to buy clarity and progress. There are also unforgiving market realities that make every decision costly. So what's the headline for the next 2 weeks? Watch practice reports, watch McCarthy's concussion protocol updates, and watch Brosmer's snaps if he gets them. Measure progress not by headlines, but by tape. Quicker decisions, fewer holds, cleaner footwork, better sack numbers. That's the only honest way to tell whether this was a misread or a project worth finishing. Closing image, a franchise standing in a room full of helmets, squinting at the future like it's a balance sheet. The answer isn't glamorous. It's practice, protection, simplified play calls, and a body of work that finally tilts toward competence. Fix those things, and the what if becomes a story about patience paying off. Fail, and the Vikings will spend the offseason deciding whether they can buy their way out of a mistake or have to live with it and rebuild.